peace.
All right, let's go to that news conference now that they have gotten finished with the greetings, and let's watch and listen.
Legitimate concerns and frustrations about the ongoing investigation with respect to what happened to Freddie Gray are not served well by these violent acts. And this violence isn't accomplishing anything. It's counterproductive. We're going to make sure that we get Baltimore back on track and make sure our neighborhoods are safe again. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor Tom Fitzgerald, could you explain to folks how states of emergency work, when your state of emergency declaration was prepared, and what happened in the next 48 hours? Do you have to wait for the mayor to ask for it?
Well, as you know, the violence started at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We had, prior to that, taken preliminary action to prepare the state for if, in fact, violence did take place, if the city did call us and ask for the assistance. So we had already activated our emergency command center as of last Saturday. I had already talked to the National Guard. I had already been in communication with the White House. We had been in ongoing communication on a daily basis with the mayor. This violence started, I think, about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We were in constant communication. Finally, I believe around 6 o'clock, the mayor said, requested us to bring in the National Guard and declare a state of emergency. We did so immediately because we had already prepared the order a week before. We already had called up, and the National Guard had already been put on alert. They were ready to act. The Emergency Command Center was already activated. We had representatives from every state agency. We had already called together local police and fire, other services from around the state. So it was about 30 seconds before we completely activated all of the resources we had to bear. It's been now less than 24 hours. You see we have a couple of thousand more people on the streets in Baltimore. To my knowledge, there's been no incidents this morning. We're still concerned about what might happen this evening. We're continuing to bring more people in from around the state and around the country. We're going to put as much manpower and as many resources as we can to make sure that we do not have that kind of a situation tonight.
You said you could do nothing until the mayor contacted you.
What's that?
You could do nothing until the mayor made a phone call?
No, what I told you was we were working all week, and we had already prepared the National Guard. We had already called up all the assets. We had already activated the Emergency Command Center, and when the mayor requested, we brought them in.
So between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock yesterday, you could do nothing?
Well, we did quite a bit, but we waited until the mayor asked for us to come in. We didn't think it was appropriate to come in and take over the city without the request of the...
For those that say the state of emergency took too long to declare, who's ultimately to blame?
Well, I don't want to place any blame. I just want to focus on, our response has been incredible. As I said, we acted instantaneously, and I'm very proud of the effort by all of the state and the local partners that have been working together.
Governor, based on your tour, does this qualify, do you think, or you seek disaster aid relief? Federal disaster aid?
Our folks at MEMA are in communication with the federal government. I plan to talk with the president a little bit later. We're going to make sure that we provide all the assistance we can from the federal, state, and local level. And we toured businesses that were burned and looted. We've met with citizens who've had lost their homes, and we've talked with, we had a cabinet meeting before the community leader meeting. Our insurance commissioner's already activated a rapid response to try to take care of the folks who have insurance. We've contacted the Small Business Administration about financial assistance for folks that do not have insurance. Whatever resources are necessary from the federal, state, and local level, we will provide.
Governor, can you talk a little bit about what you see as the immediate needs in the community over the next 24 to 72 hours, and what resources are you and your department heads going to bring to bear?
Well, the immediate need is to restore calm and peace to the city, make people feel safe. I think we're already well on our way to getting that accomplished. There are no more fires burning. There are no more looting going on. You see a tremendous presence on the streets now, which we didn't see yesterday. There's also issues like emergency housing, which we're providing from both Department of Human Resources and the Housing Agency. There's financial assistance. We've activated 2,000 volunteers through the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives from around the state. We're asking for volunteers and donations. We've been in communication with other states to bring in resources. Governor Christie in New Jersey has agreed to send in 150 New Jersey state troopers and a lot of assets to help us. The Guard is calling up another 1,000 who will be here by tonight. And we're going to make sure that the city is brought back to peace.
How many assets are here now? Can you give us an idea?
We've got a couple of 1,000 new police officers and Guard on the street currently. And it's going to continue to grow. We'll put as many as we need.
Governor, some of these community groups last week asked you for some long-term help to the systemic problems in Baltimore, jobs programs, housing programs. What are you prepared to do to help some of the systemic problems in Baltimore?
Yeah, well, we sent the Lieutenant Governor and Kiefer Mitchell, who's a former city councilman, former delegate from Baltimore City, to the meeting to meet with those groups. We met with the groups again today. We talked about some of those issues. I expressed to them my #1 concern is jobs. It's what I've been focused on. It's what we're creating more jobs and more opportunities in Baltimore City is a top priority of our administration. Today, the focus is on the emergency actions that need to take place. Tomorrow, we work on how we work together to create more jobs and opportunities.
What can you do to convince businesses to come back into Baltimore, given what happened yesterday?
Well, it's not going to be easy.
Governor, did you call the mayor or did she call you?
I called the mayor multiple times yesterday.
Between 3 and 6 o'clock.
Governor, at this point, who is ultimately responsible for all the crews on the ground? You or the mayor of Baltimore?
Well, the mayor of Baltimore had the city of Baltimore police on the ground. Quite frankly, they were overwhelmed. All the rest of the boots on the ground came from us.
So is that fair to say that you're in charge?
A city that has so much at stake with tourism, trying to rebuild itself back. I know that's not primary, but the peace and restoring order is. But is that a concern? Is that a critical concern with all the Doyle games looking at?
Sure, it is a concern. I mean, this is not the Baltimore that we know and love. This is certainly not putting us in very good light. It doesn't help with tourism. It doesn't help bringing in businesses. But we're going to be stronger after this is over with. It's a very unfortunate and sad incident. We're going to do everything we can to move on from here.
Can you talk about the whether there were any conversations with the mayor about Ferguson, what might have been learned from Ferguson, whether you decided to sort of hold back on bringing in troops because of what might have been learned in Ferguson?
You know, those are questions you should probably direct to the mayor. I didn't have discussions with her about Ferguson or why she was holding back. We were just ready to get moving forward, and as soon as she made that decision, we got to work.
Are there damage estimates at this point, at least a number of businesses or homes that have been damaged or destroyed?
I know that our insurance commissioner has activated a team to come in and work on those assessments and made it a priority. I don't have an assessment at this point.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody.
We have a, go ahead. You want to talk?